In this video, we're going to talk about the 10 steps of purchasing a home in Northern Colorado, including some of those things that you want to get done early in the process so that they don't hurt you down the road. Hey everyone, my name is Lauren Haug and I'm a real estate agent in Loveland, Colorado with Perch Real Estate. If at any point during this video you have questions about the real estate market here in Northern Colorado, go ahead and drop them in the comments or reach out to me directly at 970-685-9460. Now, let's get started. So step number one to buying a home in Northern Colorado is that you want to find a real estate agent who can guide you through the process. Now, when you're looking for a real estate agent, it's really important that you find somebody who's knowledgeable with the area and knowledgeable with the process. It also doesn't hurt if you get along really well with that person because you're going to be around them a lot during your process. The second step to purchasing a home is to think about how much home you can afford. Now, most of the time when people think about this, they think about the big number, like how much does this home cost? But what I really want you to think about is how much of a mortgage payment would you be willing to afford from month to month? Think about other expenses like homeowners insurance, and if you're gonna live in a home with an HOA, different amounts of money that you wanna be saving for home repairs and different things like that. Rather than thinking about that big number, think about how it's going to affect your budget from month to month. I always encourage people to sit down and just look at their spending. If you don't budget already, I'm linking a really great budgeting tool down below. This is gonna save you so much time in the future when you go to look at homes because you'll be able to determine how much house you can afford based on what that monthly payment is. Step number 3 in the home buying process here in NoCo is that you want to find a mortgage broker who can take those numbers from your budget and that mortgage payment amount that you're comfortable with and run numbers for you so that you can find out exactly how much home you can afford based on what your down payment is and what your credit score is and all of those kinds of things. If you don't have a mortgage lender that you like to work with, talk to your agent about it. I always give my clients a couple of options of people that I've worked with before that I really like. And again, just like when you're trying to find an agent, you want to find somebody that you feel great communicating with, somebody that you get along really well with, because your mortgage is a pretty important part in this entire process. And you're going to want to make sure that whoever you're using as a lender is able to communicate with you in a way that makes you feel good about the process. Step number 4, after you find your lender, is that you're going to want to get pre-approved for a mortgage. And what a pre-approval looks like is your lender's going to look at things like your pay stubs, your employment history, your W-2s. They're going to pull credit. And they're just going to get a really solid picture of what you can afford based on your entire financial picture. And based on, like we mentioned earlier, what you're comfortable with in making payments month to month. This pre-approval letter is going to be super important. If you don't have one of these in our super competitive Northern Colorado market and you try to put an offer on a house, most sellers won't even entertain that. In fact, I don't think in my 5 years as an agent up here that I've seen offers come in without an accompanied approval letter, or if you're paying cash, some proof of funds. So this is a super important step. Before you even start looking at houses, you should have this pre-approval letter. Otherwise, you risk falling in love with the house and not being able to make an offer on it. Before I move on, I completely forgot to mention, I have a 1-page homebuyer roadmap with step-by-step, these steps kind of mapped out for you. If you would like a copy of that, drop me a note in the comments. Now, step number 5 and 6 are the fun parts of the home buying process. Step number 5 is you're gonna start your home search online. If you're watching this video, it's very likely that you've already started searching for homes on my website, which is great. Once you get a little bit more serious about wanting to make an offer on a home, I'm going to connect you with a portal that's linked directly to the MLS, and you'll start receiving notifications based on your criteria of homes that hit the market. The instant they hit the market, you're going to get an email, you're going to be the first to know. And you get to go into this portal that's connected to the MLS and rank these homes. It's kind of like a dating app for houses. You say which ones you like, say which ones are maybes and which ones are heck no's. And you can even leave notes in there for me. And this helps me a lot get a good feel for what you're looking for in a home. Step number 6, after or once you're looking at homes online, if you find a home that you really want to see in person, step number 6 is where we get to go out and actually view homes in person. Now, in Colorado, you need to have a licensed agent with you in order to schedule a showing for any of the homes that show up on the MLS. So don't stop by people's houses, don't knock on their doors. The first person you should be calling is your real estate agent so that they can set up a showing for you and accompany you to that showing. If you end up seeing a house that you really like, that's when you get to discuss with your agent what kind of offer you'd like to put in. We'll look at the comps in the area, what other homes have sold for. We'll consider all of the features of the home that you're interested in, and we'll craft an offer that will be appealing to the seller. Once your offer gets accepted, that's when we get down into the nitty-gritty of the paperwork. Okay, so step number 7 happens after your offer gets accepted. One of the first things that you're going to want to do once your offer gets accepted is to hire a professional home inspector to inspect your house. They're going to look for things, they're going to look at different parts of the house like the roof, HVAC, so air conditioning, heating, that kind of thing, the water heater. They're going to check the appliances to make sure they're running. They're going to check things like the water pressure. And they're just going to look at the overall condition of the house and get a report back to you. Step number 8 in the home buying process is that you're going to get the house appraised. Now, this is something that your mortgage lender is going to help set up. An appraisal is a little bit different from a home inspection, and that's a whole other video for another time. But essentially, the appraisal is just a third party, neutral party opinion of what the home's value is. This is more or less used as a protection for the lender to make sure that the home is worth the money that they're lending you to purchase this home. All right, step number 9 of the home buying process is to coordinate the paperwork. Now, this is something that your agent is going to help you with. One of the great things about having an agent, especially one who has experience, is that they are going to coordinate all of the different parties that come together to help your home purchase get to the closing table. So as an agent, we work with people like your lender to make sure that all of the conditions are met so that your loan goes through so that you actually have the money to buy the house. We work with the title company to make sure that there are no outstanding liens on the house that are going to affect you after the purchase and that you can take ownership of the home free and clear. We also work with title to coordinate the closing. They're the ones that get all of the paperwork recorded and transfer the deed and transfer the property from the previous owner's name into your name. We coordinate with the seller's agent just to make sure that all of the dates and deadlines are occurring when they need to occur, and that you're holding up your side of the contract and that they're holding up their side of the contract. So while this is a really important step, the nice thing is that all you need to do is stay informed. Your agent should communicate with you at least on a weekly basis and keep you updated about what kinds of things are happening with the contract and with all of these other parties while you're under contract. And finally, step number 10, this is the most exciting part because this is where you become a homeowner. You get to close on the sale of your house. Typically in Colorado, we sit at the closing table with all the parties, with the seller, with the seller's agent, with me and you and the title company, and sometimes your lender shows up too. With COVID restrictions, closings have been a little bit smaller, and so we're keeping like the buyer side and the seller side separate. But on closing day, you'll come to the title company, I'll be there with you, or your agent will be there with you, and you're pretty much just gonna sign all of the documents, agreeing to pay your mortgage and agreeing that you are now going to be the owner of this house. And once closing's over, you own the home, free and clear, it's yours. Congratulations. I really hope that you got some value from this video today and that you have a better idea of what the home buying process looks like. Again, a lot of these steps could be videos in and of themselves, so stay tuned for those videos up and coming. But if you have any questions or need any clarification about the process that we talked about today, please drop a note in the comments, or again, you can feel free to call or text me at 970-685-9460. Don't forget to leave a comment and ask for that Homebuyers Roadmap. It's a really helpful resource, and it's just a one-page thing that you can use as a reference tool throughout your process. And don't forget to subscribe, because there will be a lot more videos forthcoming to help you understand the buying and selling process and all of the steps involved in Northern Colorado. Thanks again for watching.